One of the most underrated signings for us this offseason was probably Drue Tranquill, the linebacker from the Los Angeles Chargers. I always San Diego Chargers, but he made some noise this recently on what was the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Tranquill said that GM Brett Veach and head coach Andy Reid stopped well short of defining a role for him in Kansas City. Quote, Brett Veach and Andy Reid's message was, Drue, there's no promises here. We love you as a player. We love what you're able to do. You're super versatile. You're a total linebacker and can do it all. But we've got a lot of great players here, and you're going to have to come in here and earn your way. Drue, last week when we started the OTAs, he was and kind of advancing him to learn the defense. They were making him the green dot linebacker, so he had to kind of call the plays last week. So I guess that's their learning, getting him to learn the defense a little bit. But obviously, to anyone who follows the Chiefs, they know we have Bolton, Willie Gay, and now we got Tranquill and Leo Chenal, two second-year linebackers. So pretty jam-packed at the middle linebacker spot. But what I want to ask you is, when you hear this story and knowing his situation, like San Diego Los Angeles offered him a good deal, big money. He said no. They ended up going to get I think Eric Kendricks to be their linebacker. And he ended up, kind of sitting down the market, not getting that big interest. He ends up signing the 1 year, $3 million deal that could be worth up to $5 million. And he hears that from Brett Veach and Andy Reid. I don't know, for a layman like me, JD, when I hear that a team really didn't seem like that, like eager, and I'm also not paying you big bucks too. Why did Drue Tranquill sign with the Kansas City Chiefs knowing we have a full linebacker room like that? And also, like, it doesn't seem like they're that eager kind of to find a role for him.
For one, I think it's the organization. Two is, playing for Andy Reid. And we've been kicking their tail for the last few years. Drue has been over there. So can't beat them, join them, right? We'll say that. But I think it's what it is. I think he sees that there's, when you're discussing this with your agent, you kind of see who is up, who might be available, who might be on the chopping block, who might be coming up as far as free agent wise. And so I think any of them is just what they're doing is they're having and putting in an environment for competition. I think it's what it is. I think it's a breeding ground now in Chiefs Kingdom for linebackers to be competitive, right? And so I've always said this: competition breeds excellence. It really does. And so we know this. We know one thing it does. It brings up performance, high level performance in guys when you have people that are challenging, when you have people that are competing. We're talking about just psychologically, physiologically, you get better. And so that's what the Chiefs are actually they're trying to do. They're trying to put this out here and say, hey, look, we got these linebackers here. Drue, we can't give you a definite role. We love what you can do. We know you can play. We know you make plays out on the field. You got to show us. That's why we signed you to a 1 year deal. If you're as good as we think you're going to be, and what you showed in the past, hey, then guess what? This right here, you play to the top of performance, we're going to reward you with a contract, being here with the championship team. That's what it seems like to me. And so I think because we know that, Willie Gay is, up on, free agent, you know what I mean? That's a possibility. But everybody gets better with that. Everybody gets better in the room. And so Bolton, because people talked about Bolton and his, what his performance was last year. And then we talked about maybe his weakness. I don't think it's as much of a weakness as other people keep talking about. Is covering, receivers and tight ends. I don't think that's what he's not as good at is his coverage. Drue is very good at covering, guys out the backfield, covering receivers and wide, tight ends and such and so forth. So that's a strong suit. And he can blitz. So he has a lot to him. He has a very versatile bag of doing things, man. And so I think Andy them knows what they have in this guy, but they brought him in because they want him to compete.
Yeah. Now he does provide stuff that we don't really have in that linebacker room. I believe he plays safety in college. He's a kind of converted kind of safety linebacker tweener, which that's adds something a little different to what we have in the room. I guess when I heard that, it was like, because I remember when we signed him, you and I were excited about the signing, but it was also like, but why? I mean, like, it's not really a big need for us, right? And then also you're hearing the coach of each and Andy say like, yeah, we got guys, but there's not really a role for you. It's like, well, okay, then why the hell did we sign you?
Well, the thing is, so we didn't re-sign Harris. Okay, so we're talking about we needed some experience in the room. Okay, we have Bolton, we have Gay, we got Chanel. All right, we got a young guy in Jack Cochran. Okay, that is actually a pretty good linebacker. Kind of looked up; he was like one of the most underrated linebackers out there. Came out in free agent, and he almost is like a Drue Tranquill, kind of guy. Okay, he could do a lot of different things. So that's another thing. You're teaching young guy how to be. A young guy can learn a lot from him. Same body type and all those different things. And so Drue is going to be able to, like when I'm telling you, man, he's going to be able to just deliver the performance, okay, and bring that level of the performance up in the entire room. That's what he's able to do. That's what Eddie them brought him in to do. And so Spags will have a great job, man, having this guy in here. He really is. And so we talked about toys on offense. This is a toy on defense. This is a toy that the guy is an excellent linebacker. You're not just getting a guy in here. We're talking about, a guy had 100 tackles last year, somewhere around there, could do it all. And so that's what you're looking for. You're looking for to build this young defense up. You have solidified guys, especially in that second level, right? That linebacker level. And yeah, at times, maybe some games, the linebacker play could have was so, possibly, right? Gay got hurt last year. He got hurt last year, was out. And so the thing is, hey, Harris came in and did a great job, tremendous job. Hey, man, we got Drue Tranquill here for $3 million.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a deal. It's a hell of a deal. So yeah, man, that's a great signing. But I know that's what Andy and them are thinking about is because all the young guys that you do have, you got a guy that's a proven veteran that can do all those different things, and it's just going to make everybody in that room better. It's going to make the entire linebacker core that much better, which overall talks about the entire defense being that much better, right? So,
And when I hear the quote that Tranquill says from what Veach and Andy told them, is that like a common thing where coaches probably won't show their hand as far as like, yeah, we got a lot of guys, so you're gonna have to earn that, you're gonna have to earn a spot. It's not given to you. Is that like more or less like that's pretty much what the NFL, these coaches and guys say to players when they sign you?
Well, sometimes it depends on what guy it is, right? Sometimes it's got to be the right guy to say that to. If you say it to a guy who is, that knows he's the stuff. He like Drue knows he knows he's who he is. Maybe don't work with those guys, but Drue is one that's hungry. He's been behind 8 ball, like you said, man, for a number of years. He was being looked over at, say, the Chargers for a while until he came in and started, and he did really well. And so I think I read something he was talking about like, look, I've always been kind of the underdog, and when I come in and it's all about competition, I went out. Right? Mm-hmm. So any of them know that. They know the history of Drue. And so, hey, man, Drue, guess what? When you come here, hey, we love what you can do. You got to compete. You got to compete and win. And so you come up here, you compete, you win. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to reward you probably with a new contract. That's how these things go. So him not signing in with the Chargers, having that contract, and then, some people didn't want him, they didn't like him or whatever. It was like, okay, we can do without this guy. The Chiefs was like, hey, come over here and find a home. Shoot, come and compete over here because if you come and compete, win a championship, because that's what we've been doing for these past few years, kicking y'all butt over here with the Chargers. We'll take you in, okay? Win a championship, rub it all in their face, and then get rewarded with a big contract. How about that? Mm-hmm. He's like, where I signed up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You're when I heard this, I was like, I really want to ask JD about this because this is like so interesting. And you're best person to speak to about this kind of stuff. So yeah. And also too, I guess for me, like when a coach is like saying, yeah, you got to earn your spot, they're also not paying me a lot of money. So I could easily, if I'm not looking good during training camp, I could easily be on the chopping block. I mean, there's not that much investment there anyway. So it's like, I mean,
no, but they know with a guy like this, okay, and this is what I'm talking about, his makeup. They're going to drive competition. They're going to bring out high performance and productivity out of his guy because of that, okay? Because they are saying, hey, you know what? You got to compete. And so for a guy like that, the organization wins because they know a guy like that stays hungry. They know that's who he is. And so it's good. It's good to bring a guy in, man, and compete in those positions. Because you got great linebackers here already. You got great linebackers here. They ain't lying.
Yeah.
Shoot. I mean, Bolden and Gay and Chanel, they know they're great linebackers. So it wasn't like we ain't got to blow smoke up your tail. We got good linebackers here. We know that. You're gonna make us better, but I want you to compete. Where do you if you play with these guys, okay, and this is what also too you got to realize is, this is all for the future. Where do you fit in this thing? Okay. Do you play better with the fit with all these guys? What's going to be the combination here? Right. I think it's what the Chiefs are actually looking for. They're going to see the combination of the linebackers they put in that's going to be more successful.
Yeah.
And so, shoot, when I heard Bolton talk about him, it just lit his light too. He's like, man, I love Drue Tranquill. I see what he does. He does a great job. It's just going to help us out. It's going to make us even better. Bolton is the man of the defense. We know that. Okay. He's the guy. All right. And if he's talking high on Drue, he knows what he can bring to the game. I know the linebacker core, man, them guys stick together, man. They push for each other. That is, without a doubt, the best way to get the most out of your players. Okay. Is healthy competition.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. It's going to just bring the best of everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.